10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Covered by Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is Universal.
On 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
All right, it is time for the 10-minute drill. We're going to kick around some of the other weekend happenings, and after we do, we'll open the phone lines to you. And Beef, what are we playing for today?
We're going to send one lucky Guggen to get their belly full with $20 to Moe's Southwest Grill. Welcome to Moe's!
Yes, sir.
I could go for a burrito.
Is there a bonus on there as well? No. Okay.
That's not
All right.
during this.
Okay, good. All right.
That is elsewhere.
Yes, let's bring in my friend, my good friend, I thought, Dan Hicken, as we continue to kick around the weekend that was. And before we go any further and get started on our long, grueling trudgery of a day here, I'd like to address an elephant in the room, Beef.
Oh.
Yeah. Locked in the middle of what I thought was friendly banter yesterday afternoon, as Dan and Beef and I tried to talk these two off the ledge of the Jaguars actually winning the game yesterday.
We were in a dark place.
I tried to assure them there's 1,000% the Jags are not winning this game. But during the course of that, there was one text that was flown back and forth in between that shocked me, and quite frankly, it hurt me. Do you know the text that I'm speaking of, friend?
The one, the text that I sent you?
Correct, yes. Do you know the one that has created this elephant in the room that has me today walking on eggshells?
Judging by the context clues, I'm going to assume the terrible lack of friendship that you showed on your part.
Do you see what just happened there?
Checking in on me
you see
as
that?
I fight the virus.
Do you see it? You sound. Are you
Ladies
okay?
and gentlemen, allow me to speak. I
didn't even get to finish what it was. I didn't even get to say what it was, and you're already taking over.
Would you like to read it?
I don't need to read it. Dan basically accused told me the friendshipometer was pegging all-time low because I hadn't, quote, checked in on him this weekend.
3:45 yesterday, Dan Hicken texted into the group chat, Pross, thanks for checking on me while I fight the virus. Friendshipometer pegging low.
And what did I send back to him?
You said, quote, you're fine.
Now, so I asked you today, just for confirmation or denial, were you, when you sent said text, and when I answered said text, were you, quote, fine?
It depends. I have the coronavirus.
I know you do. And I talked to you Friday.
9 days.
Yeah, I talked to you Friday. I assumed you were in good hands with BWR.
You talked to me at work Friday.
No, we spoke on the phone when I left.
We did not speak on the phone Friday.
You sounded okay. If I had thought it was, friend, you know I would be free there in a heartbeat, a lot more than these other
Beef checked
people.
in on me Saturday.
Well, good for him.
The boss checked in on me. Other radio parts of the day checked in on me.
Gotcha.
For goodness sakes.
I trusted you were
taken aback.
Trusted you were okay.
Aback.
I think I have in more important questions of existence.
Friday, let me ask you this.
I've been there more times than I could ever count. So
I was
I'm not going to
fighting the virus Friday. Where were you, please?
I was at work to start things off, not home in a bathrobe, studying Friday 5-packs to get a leg up.
Friday afternoon?
I had to go do an appearance. I was at the golf course.
What course were you at?
I was at I was at a TPC Sawgrass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What does that have to? Now, what does that have to do with anything?
I suspect on Saturday, how many hours of golf did you watch?
Well, most of it actually. Saturday, just about all of it.
So a good 9-10 hours of golf.
Sure.
On the TV.
Correct.
Not once in those 10 hours you sat there looking at your phone, texting with people. Thought, let me check in on Dan.
Let me see what my text is. See, I don't live on the phones like you guys. Let me look at my I'm gonna look at my text schedule.
You go, Elephant.
I'm gonna see how many texts were actually. What day was Saturday? Beef, was that the 14th?
That is correct.
0. Okay, now I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take the 30-foot walk into Beef. Let me put on a mask so that I can safely fight some of the detrimental.
He probably doesn't really care that you walk
over here.
Hold
on.
After super spreading around Sawgrass.
Stay out of the studio, B, please.
I'm looking at it now.
Okay. These are my texts on the 13th. These are all the people I talked to. And then I have all these texts on the 15th. Are there any texts at all on the 14th?
No, it appears that either he did not text or he deleted them.
I'm going to come right back at you with this. The friendshipometer is low because you don't. After all these years, you don't know me, so it's low. Yeah.
Oh,
Not a text, not even to the ether, not to a friend, and not to a wife. No one. Not a single one. So there. So if there's anything I can do to once again reconfirm the friendships and the care that I have for you, and the absolute determination that you return a healthier and happier than ever, then you just say the word.
No, it's just
It hurt. I didn't realize.
It is what it is.
I didn't know. When did you become so
like
soft
the
on these
ball.
things? I mean,
right up there.
Yeah.
Probably.
What about the cheesecake I brought you that you left sit in the fridge for 14 days?
Oh, that
you
is
forget,
fair.
You
That's fair.
forget
That is
those.
fair.
It's just there's a lot of those. The difference is I don't keep them. I don't harbor them and show them to you every 3 months.
I mean, Jeff did go down there sort of with
Like more than once.
soggy eyes.
I finally
that
just
cheesecake
threw
in
it.
the trash.
I finally just grabbed it in anger and slammed it in the trash like a dunk.
Anyway, there we go. That's addressed, and we can move on now.
I really don't feel like anything positive came out of that, but it has been
be
addressed.
professionals. We can
Yeah,
be professionals
that's right.
here. And
Man,
carry on.
It is hot in here, bro. I'm going to take off some clothes. You carry on.
It is getting hot in here.
Lovely
man.
temperature here in the quarantine.
The Casa de
home,
Higgin?
Day 10, day 9. What day are we on? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Day 9 of the quarantine continues. So,
we've got a situation.
So anyway,
as Jeff apparently not wearing an undershirt. He's half nude now. In the
I'm wearing an undershirt. I didn't
Video
want to
cameras
pull everything
everywhere.
off right there for all 7 viewers to see on whatever this platform it is we're on.
Roku.
Couple
What is
of
it,
couple
Roku?
other things.
Huddle?
Couple of other things to talk about here. Obviously, we'll get into the Gators a little bit later, maybe next segment. But firing in football as Champ goes down again. Champ, by all accounts, great guy, nice guy, just not a great coach. I don't know what else to tell people. I mean, he's a good person and he's a terrible coach. And no, I don't want him as Florida's defensive coordinator, Gator Nation. A lot of people, let's get it, no thanks. Champ has made more money for being an average coach than anybody in the history of mankind.
You say made, I say stole. I mean, seriously, It's not his fault when school.
No,
I think Muschamp, and I think this has changed some. So I think he will ultimately have an effect. Muschamp, though, is Exhibit A. Why you have to understand when you hire someone, you're not hiring his great boss's success. You're not hiring Nick Saban's resume when you hire Will Muschamp. You're hiring Will Muschamp. You're not hiring Mac Brown's national title. You're hiring Will Muschamp. You got to make sure that you are. And this, look, you could say this goes also for any searches that the Jags would make at other levels. You got to make sure that just because you're ask the Patriots assistants that have spread all over the league and failed. They're not Belichick. So
I can tell you right now, by the way, we previewed this last week, and I told you that the race to Hugh Freeze was on, so I feel good about knowing what's happening. And the race to Hugh Freeze is on, and South Carolina will have to talk to him. Their boosters are obviously steering this ship because there's no way they fire Will Muschamp
without a plan.
Record alone at that. I mean, there's just no way of knowing what they owe him and understanding how much money all these programs are losing. But I can tell you Will Muschamp's next destination, clear as day, 100%. I can guarantee you where Will Muschamp, if he wants to coach next year, will be.
North Carolina.
Alabama. He will be at Alabama. He will be coaching. If there's no job there, they'll create a job.
Because he can recruit.
He will be at Alabama. And he will be either like defensive backs coach or I don't know what, but he will be at Alabama coaching next year.
Nick Saban also knows a good recruiter when he sees him. For all of his shortcomings as a head coach, Will Muschamp certainly is a tremendous recruiter. South Carolina has talent. He's just a terrible coach. He's just a bad head coach. He just never figured it out. He couldn't get to right. You got to have a great staff.
Awful. I mean, South Carolina's got a lot of nerve too. They've never done anything. And in fairness to Muschamp, he did follow Urban at Florida and Spurrier at South Carolina. So two tough guys to follow. So it'll be Hugh Freeze, that Napier guy from Louisiana is in line to become an SEC coach, I think, and maybe now the Coastal Carolina guy. I don't know what his name is, but obviously he would be a natural.
I don't want as a Florida.
If I'm a South Carolina fan, I want Hugh Freeze.
And if I'm anyone else in the SEC East, that's not who I want them to hire. So yeah,
right.
that's a no-brainer. Now again, I'm a little curious as to what, if any, stain is left on Hugh Freeze as far as the SEC goes. Is there?
Well, it comes along with the fact that you're hiring a guy who cheated. I mean, that's a fact. I mean, so you're gonna have to deal with that. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. Is there any chance we kick things around a little bit here, the other sports of the world, that the Knicks bag Anthony Davis this week? Is that happening?
Because Anthony Davis decided that he's going to, not accept the player option? Yeah, no.
Is that what's happening?
No,
I'm sorry, Dan. He's coming home.
Yeah, no, he's staying with the Lakers is what he's doing. We're going to add Dennis Schroeder, and LeBron and AD are going to try and saddle up and do another one. My favorite NBA storyline yesterday was this guy, James Harden. He's some piece of work. James Harden demanded out of Oklahoma City because he was too big a star to share the court there with Durant and Westbrook, and has since gone on to Houston, where the Rockets do any and everything they can to give James Harden talent to win, whether it's Chris Paul or Dwight Howard years ago relevant, or Clint Capella or Russell Westbrook, and yet they fail because of the way that James Harden plays basketball. It's a non-championship style, and so now he's let it loose that he'd like to join the Nets. Well, isn't that convenient? Just another NBA superstar, quote unquote, looking for a skirt to hide under. It's ridiculous.
So is it Harden who wants out, or is it Houston who wants to get out from?
It's Harden wants out because he's lost confidence they can win a championship. This just in. So did the Rocket fan base, thanks to you and your pound the ball and fire it up from 40 routine.
Yes.
That guy annoys me. That guy, and Russell annoys me, and he is right. You can't win there in Houston. Not with you. So move on to somewhere else. And this just in, by the way, they may have played nice with you in the offseason workouts, but I can tell you somebody else that doesn't want James Harden playing with him. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. That's who. So
no, you don't want him.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I just don't
understand.
By
the way, who are you going to trade for him?
Right. Well, by the way, who are you if you're James Harden? You wanted this. You're the guy. You can't look in the mirror and see no matter who they give you, you're not winning. Might be time to do a little self-inspection. That's all I'm saying. At least a little bit.
I should not just go to the top of the key and dribble and then shoot?
Sure. I mean, it gets a little boring. Even if you're successful and having a good day, probably not much fun playing on your team. And then when the season ends,
the world's biggest ball hog wanted out of Houston.
Right. And now the second biggest ball hog wants to follow him. So, yeah, there you go. There are your answers. Dan, the Jaguars did one thing yesterday that I haven't seen them do this good maybe since 2017. A scroll back through the box scores of every game between then and now might prove me different, but I haven't seen the defense get off the field like they did yesterday in a long time. It started with the opening drive. The Packers had scored every opening drive this year. The Jags so bad playing defense just a few weeks ago that they were never going to defer the kick until the second half again. The Packers took the ball. They got them 3 and out then, and on the day, I think the Pack was only like 5 for 13 on third down. Those are really good players, Hick, and we talked about Aaron Rodgers and the kind of game he had. But understand, Aaron Jones and Davante Adams, running back and receiver, are top 5 at their position this year as well. So,
I thought Davante Adams was a big sissy yesterday. I thought he played soft and uninterested, and got mad and feigned an injury because C.J. Henderson was sort of getting the better of him, quite honestly. And I would come back. One of my observations today would be to tell you, don't tell me Davante Adams is one of the best receivers in the NFL. Not by what I saw yesterday. I thought he was I think he thought he was entitled to have a great game, and it just doesn't work that way. It did not seem like the Packers were ready to play in any way stretch, but give the Jags credit. That was C.J. Henderson's best game since the first game of the year, I thought. And Devon Hamilton continued to make some plays. And the kid from Auburn who they stuck in there,
Daniel Thomas,
I don't know if he's good or not, but he's not getting burned at least. Right?
And most importantly, Sidney Jones had his second interception of the year.
For you, yes, yeah. That was terrible.
Most important.
Come on,
I need one more. If I can get Sidney one more pick, I think I'll have it.
Who got burned on the?
That was Sidney.
Yeah. So that he loses the credit for that interception due to the 7.
No, not at all. If we were going to do that, your middle linebacker allowed the other team to score 36 weeks in a row. So there had to be some reciprocal there. So
Big Show Joe will find another.
I thought yesterday Dustin Johnson closed the chapters on whether or not he can finish. He closed any chapter on where he stands all time. Winning that second major, winning in the way he did at Augusta, firmly establishes Dustin Johnson in my mind of this generation, even including players who may have won a couple more majors. I think I'd go Tiger, Phil, Dustin Johnson, Dan. Would you fight?
I think if you
would
would
you
say,
fight hard against that?
No, I think if you said, if you have your A game, if they all have their A games, who's going to win? I think you probably pick Dustin Johnson over Rory and obviously Spieth and DeChambeau and
Rahm.
And
those are currents, but I just mean even over. Would you rather have Dustin Johnson's career, Dan, or Jordan Spieth's?
Dustin Johnson wins every year, so
yeah. Even though Spieth has more majors,
Dustin Johnson's not done. He's entering a nice little 5-year window where he can grab a couple. He's very, he just kind of goes about his way. I thought we were going to get some. I was disappointed overall in the Masters
because no one made a run at him. It was set up so perfect.
Yeah, and he was coming back, but those other guys, none of them, if Rory didn't have that opening round 75, but he did. And then I thought, well, okay, Rory, go shoot a 30 on the back nine and get to 14, 15 and see what can happen, with DJ. But to his credit, he closed the door. He was a little wobbly.
Yeah, those back-to-back bogeys.
Yep. Huh?
He had back-to-back bogeys there on.
Yeah, but he won. He set the course record, 20 under. No one's ever done that. He won by 5 shots, the biggest margin of victory, I think, since Tiger in 97. So it was, the Masters lost a little bit for me on Saturday morning. And if you watched it all, there might be a reason for this that I don't understand. And DJ kind of ruined my argument a little bit by how he played yesterday. But on 13 and 15 Saturday morning, as Tiger's completing his second round, he laid up twice. And I know on 15 he laid up from the fairway. And that was mind-boggling. And he did roll in a nice birdie putt on 15. But I, for the life of me, this is supposed to be – we've never talked about bombers before like we have. And I got all these guys. And then I got DJ on Sunday laying up on 13 and 15. Now, I guess he had mud on the ball, so he just sort of –
yeah, and he's also protecting a lead, which makes a lot more sense.
which is fine. And he ended up birdieing both of them, right?
Yeah.
So that took a little bit away from it. But I don't know, man. I mean That was a little weird for me.
I think if you got the lead, there's no reason to. I mean, on 13, if you hit a good drive, then yeah, you can hit a 6-iron onto that green. But 15 is. I mean, look what happened to Justin Thomas on Saturday on 15. He goes for it in 2. He hits a good shot. It skips off the green, rolls off the back, and all the way into the water. It basically shot him out of the tournament. So
yeah,
and those guys are so. Here's another thing, Hick, for them versus us and who we play with. Those guys are so unbelievable money inside 100 yards. They can lay it up there.
But that shot is that is one tough wedge shot.
But they seem to hit a lot of good ones this weekend. I saw a lot of good.
I see him miss a lot, too. I see him roll it down that hill. Now, it doesn't go in the water when they're hitting a wedge shot because it'll stop. But I don't know. It was look, I love Augusta. I love the Masters. So I'm not, I still watched a ton of it, obviously.
I was surprised, though, when it came to Sunday decision time, it was a no-brainer. I went to football and left it there, and I just checked in. I mean, Dustin had it in good control by then. I had watched.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It carried me all through the weekend. I liked it where it was. I think it helped Saturday that at least my team wasn't playing until after the tournament coverage was over, and there wasn't a ton of compelling footballs on Saturday. So, to me, it filled a great gap, and yesterday it was awesome. We went to early service and, got home, was able to watch the golf right up until football instead of, man, that longest hour in the world is the 20 minutes before your football game starts. So, it kind of knocked out that wait time as well, and a very worthy champion, too. I like it.
Who lost the Masters pool?
Thanks in part to Tiger firing off that 10, it'll be Chris Reimer buying breakfast.
Oh,
Chris
wonderful.
Reimer.
Oh, by the way, can I add a Shazam Spotlight shadow to Tiger's 10? This was hard to believe. The Shazam Spotlight brought to you by ShazamAuto.com, the Murray Ford Superstore. Stark and Kings, going to take that short drive, and you'll have a car-buying, pleasurable experience. They do exist, and you'll find them at the Murray Ford Superstores. Do you know, when Tiger made a 10 on 12, that made 3 of the last 8 Masters champions had a 10 the next year on a hole.
Wow.
Isn't that what Bubba Watson had a 10? Sergio Garcia had a 10 not on that hole, but they each had
I love
10s.
I love Tiger, and I love everything about him. The explanation on the 10 was a little far fetched.
No, you screwed it up. The bad break was the second one spinning back in.
Yeah,
he should have been on the green in 3, made a 5.
He read the winds wrong.
Shut up.
Come on, man.
No, we're not. That's almost as bad as Bryson DeChambeau's explanation. As I felt a little dizzy today. My stomach hurt. Well, maybe the 18 protein shakes you drank this morning, maybe that bothered your stomach a little bit. Just wondering, just suggesting.
All right, let's talk Florida football when we come back. Kyle Trask needs to be discussed.
Yeah, another level. Yeah,
might be the. I'm not sure I've ever seen anyone throw the ball as well as I saw Kyle Trask throw it Saturday.
It was amazing. I didn't. They're better than I thought they were, Hick. Just overall, and the defense is coming around, and the offense looks damn near unstoppable, and we'll get into more of that when we return. Just to kind of put a bow on the segment, can I bring you anything after the show? Can I drive out there and visit with you for an hour? Would that put your mind at ease?
Well, you can't come in the house.
Well, why
house
can't I? What if I sit outside the window and we chat through it? I'm being totally serious. I know you hear the laughter in my voice. I'm being serious. I'm willing to make that commitment if that's what it.
We can talk about that after the program.
Right.
We don't have to air out the dirt.
Well, I felt I don't know.
It
shocked me and hit me right at the Achilles. I didn't want to go the whole show with it lingering. This is the drill.
Caller number 1 in there. Let's get the break.
Let's do it.